Well, welcome to the Christy Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to the podcast. And I am really excited to bring you a series today and in the next two episodes. You're going to want to listen to all three of these back to back. Don't miss out at all. It is the Reset to Rise series that I'm offering. And here's the thing. We're in the fourth quarter. This is October. You're either going, oh, wow, it's fourth quarter. If you're maybe in the business sector and, that's kind of where your brain is right now, or you're going, oh my gosh, it's October. There's only 2.5 more months or 2 months left before we wrap up this year. That is such a profound feeling when we kind of settle in and go, oh, it's October and the holidays are around the corner and Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the things. And the next thing you know, we're going to be in January and you'll be looking forward into the next year. This time of year can bring up a lot of just like a mixed bag of feelings, or a mixed bag of feelings, I guess I should say. And either you are like humming along and you are really excited with where you're at, what's going on. You kind of feel on track. You're like, yeah, this is where, kind of what I had planned for October. This is where I wanted to be. Everything's fallen into place. Or you're on the opposite side of the coin and you're like, what the heck? It's October. I thought by now this year, this would be happening and I'd be doing this and I'd have this buttoned up. Or you're somewhere in the middle. Most of us fall somewhere in the middle. Regardless, either side of the coin you're on, or if you're somewhere in the middle, this Reset to Rise series is here's what we're going to do. It's basically going to help you reset and refocus after, maybe a little bit of chaos, maybe a little distraction, coming out of summer, going into fall, getting back into your routines. Then next week, I'm going to lead into talking about momentum and emotional momentum. And then the last part of this series, I talk about shifting your focus to your own personal growth story. So that is the little ride that we're on, my friends. So come join me in this Reset to Rise series. It's going to be exactly what you need to hear right now. So today I want to talk about how to get back on track when life kind of throws you off, whether your schedule's thrown you off, maybe just things that are going on in your work life, in your personal life, like something's just kind of derailed you for the second. It doesn't have to be something major. It doesn't have to be like the traumatic thing. It could just be like little shifts, right? That you just feel like you're a little off track. So what I want to talk today is about how to get back on track. And here's the thing. I am going to really break this down super simple. And we're not going to make this like how to get back on track in 30 days, how to get back on track, within 90 days. No, we ain't doing that. I'm here. Your girl is here to help you out on how to get back on track in the same day. In the same day. Any of those days that you wake up and you go, oh man, I need to reset. I need to get back on track. This is what you need. This right here, what I'm going to tell you today, this is exactly what you need. It's all you need to do that day to get right back on track. We don't have to make a mountain out of a molehill. Okay. We don't have to make this uber complicated. I'm going to share with you 3 things, a 3-step reset that you can do within a day. I do all the time. I coach my clients. I've taught this in my inner circle with individual one-on-one clients, how to do this to reset that same day. All right. So thanks for being here today. Really excited to do this series and to get this out into the world, to give you, like, what do I always say? more stuff for your toolkit of life. Because, right, we have to stack up and like pack that toolkit with all the things. You can never have, my belief, you never can have too many tools in your toolkit for life. Because, like, you'll be humming along and you'll think, oh, I've got everything I need until you come across that one situation that you're like, oh, I don't have what I need. I got to figure this out. So that's what personal growth and personal development is all about. When you are learning more about yourself, when you are investing in your personal growth, my friend, it is the one thing that is going to, the payback rate, the dividends that you get from that, like you cannot even put a price tag on that. It will always pay you back. So let's fill up that toolkit for life, okay? All right, so let's get into this Reset to Rise series. So this is number one of my three-part series, the Reset to Rise. So let's get into it. All right, so first, I want to just address this whole myth of perfect consistency. Okay, we all know we need to be consistent with habits and practices to get the results that we want to get in our life. When you're building a life that you truly desire, you have to be dialed in. You have to be intentional. You have to make intentional choices, and you have to have clarity. But life happens, distractions come up, chaos happens. I mean, we don't get to just motor through life on a distraction-free zone. You don't get to put your life on silent mode or do not disturb mode. That isn't how it works. We can do that to our phones. I'm holding up my phone if you're watching on YouTube. New phone cover too. Super cute. Highly recommend. Amazon is the best for when you break something, break your phone cover, and you need something ASAP. Boom, you get a little cute one like this. Anyways, your life cannot be put on the do not disturb status that we can do on our phones or our devices. Life happens. Life happens. Distractions come up. So the myth of perfect consistency, like we need to talk about that because we're not, none of us, we want to be consistent, but we all get tossed off the rails from time to time. So that's why getting back on track matters more than why you fell off track. So don't spend all your time and energy trying to figure out how you fell off track, what happened. Like it happened, okay? It happened. It's good that if you know, but the more important thing is getting back on track so that you're moving in the direction that you're wanting to go. So you're building the life that you want to live. So I just want to I just wanted to touch on that whole, the myth of being perfect, because I talked about that actually, I believe last week when I talked about perfectionism. And when we procrastinate, that's like just the cousin or the disguise for perfectionism. So that's why we got to like slay that beast inside ourselves quickly. Otherwise, it's just going to derail you all the time. So let's talk about three fast, easy things that you can do in one day to reset. All right. So here we go. And you know what? No matter what you're doing, if you're driving, if you're walking, you don't have to take notes on this. You can come back to it. But literally, when I say these things to you, you're just going to be like, oh, I can easily recall that anytime I feel like I need to reset. So I'm breaking this down to the stuff that really works. Okay. I'm not making up words. I'm not like, sprinkling like glitter on something. I'm giving you like the real things that actually work. They work in my life. They work for my clients. So here we go. All right. Three-step reset. And this is when life maybe feels off. You don't have a week to do a reset. You need a reset today. You need one intentional day. That's all you need. One intentional day. And this is your no BS way to get back into alignment, to get back on track, to building that life that you truly desire. To, as we're going into this last quarter, we are in it right now by the time you hear this. This last quarter of the year, this is like the no BS way to get back on track, to get things going, to reset and rise. Number one is going to be move. Move, move, and move. You've got to shift your energy. And movement moves energy. Movement creates energy. And when I say move, I'm talking your body. You've got to move your body. You got to move your body on purpose. And you can do that in a day. You can do that in a day. Now, you don't need a full workout, okay? Don't, I can already hear some people like coming up with like, oh, but you don't understand. I don't have time or I can't do that today. You can move your body intentionally today. You can go for a brisk walk. You can stand in the kitchen and do squats. You can get on the floor and do push-ups. You can get on the floor and do some yoga, some stretching. Here's what movement does. It tells your mind we are not stuck. We are not stuck, and more importantly, we are moving forward. That is what movement tells your mind. So we got to get the mind and the body on the same page. So movement shifts your energy immediately. It's like the physical ignition switch for momentum. It's like, you think about when you start your car. We used to turn a key. Some cars you still turn a key, others you push a button. When you do that, you're igniting the engine to go forward. That vehicle is going to go forward. It's going to build momentum. So movement shifts your energy. It's the ignition switch for momentum. Movement, intentionally moving your body, tells your mind, we ain't staying here. We ain't stuck. We're going. It's go time. We are going forward. Movement, number one. Move your body on purpose. Again, take a brisk walk. Do some squats. I used to, you know what? Let me tell you this story. When I remember a time in my professional career life when I had a lot going on. I was in the thick of it, like, as a business owner, growing the company, a lot of employees, a lot of responsibility, a lot of growth going on. And with that comes a lot of challenges. You can call them problems, but I never really like to call things problems. I'm more like, these are just opportunities. These are just challenges that we're going to work through. So I was going through a time, and it wasn't like a day, a week. I'm talking like a long span of time where there were a ton. It felt like every day it was like a wave. Like I was just like, okay, walk in the office, get settled in. But by the time I'm checking my voicemails, kind of looking at what's come on my desk, it was like, all right, there's a lot here to digest. There's a lot of things here that need to have some problem solving done. That felt really heavy at times. And there were times where I would feel like almost like stuck, mainly because it felt overwhelming. And so that feeling of having those distractions, feeling like there was a lot of chaos going on. Here's a practice, this movement, this is something I would do in my office. I know it looked kind of weird, but I didn't care. We had glass doors. So my office, if someone walked down the hall, it was kind of on a corner. So it didn't really matter. I mean, not that many people, it wasn't like I was distracting other people, but it was a closed office. But I did have a glass door. So if someone walked by, they were like, what are you doing? But many times I didn't even close my door because I don't even care. If you come in and I'm in the middle of it, it's fine because everyone got used to like that's what Christy does. I would get up from my desk when I would feel those feelings, or also before I would have to make maybe a series of some very challenging phone calls. Um, where maybe there was going to be I knew that this was a confrontational situation to walk into. It was maybe a meeting over the phone where I had to really be on my A game, all cylinders firing. But when I needed to like get out of that unstuck, get back on track because I needed to refocus, I needed to reset, I would stand in my office, I would get up from my desk and I would move. I couldn't go, maybe I couldn't go for a walk and get outside and all of that. I literally would do jumping jacks. I remember sitting or being in my office, I would do, squats, like I just mentioned. Like you can do those anywhere. I would take, if I had on like high heels or shoes, that I just kick them off and I would do squats. I would do lunges. I would do jumping jacks. I would jog in place. Why? Because it shifts your energy. I knew as soon as I did that, it shifted my energy. I felt entirely different. It was an automatic reset and it allowed me to refocus, moving my body on purpose. It was that ignition switch that I needed to build the momentum. So it was me, my body, the movement telling my brain, we're not stuck here. We are not staying here. We are moving forward. You've heard me say energy creates energy. Um, I didn't make up that saying. Obviously, that's been around since the beginning of time, but I say that a lot. I say that a lot. So I would be in my office, yes, doing jumping jacks, doing whatever, creating energy, raising my vibration, raising just that overall energetic feeling, signaling to my brain, we ain't stuck, we're going forward, it's go time, we're moving our body. And it's just a whole energy shift. So, number one, to reset of this Reset and Rise series that I'm doing, the number one thing to really reset your day in a day when things feel off, to get a reset, you're going to move your body. You've got to move, shift your energy. Second thing, number two, here we go. Breathe. We have to breathe. We have to clear our mind. So number two of this 3-step reset is breathe. Clear your mind. And I mean breathe, not like I'm breathing now. I'm talking about deep, intentional breathing that's going to bring calm and peace to your body, to your brain. So that can look like taking 3 slow, deep inhales and holding it. It's great when you breathe in. And if you can hold it and if you can count to 4, there's a thing called box breathing. I don't want you to get too hung up on like, oh, there's a right way to. I want to, there are several breathing techniques that I teach. I've got some on my YouTube channel. I will try to link them below. Don't judge the hair and makeup because they're kind of older videos. And there's box breathing. I've talked about that before. But for the purposes of this podcast today, I just want you to go, I need to breathe. I need to breathe intentionally. I need to slow down my breathing. And I don't want you to get too hung up on, oh, which breathing technique was I supposed to do? Should I do box breathing? Should I do the other one she talked about? Wait, I found this other thing on YouTube. Maybe I should stop. Stop. I just want you to breathe. I just want you to take deep, intentional breaths to calm the chaos that's going on in your monkey brain, to calm the chaos of whatever has kind of derailed you right now, to where you're waking up today going, I got to reset. I got to get back on track. Today's the day, and it's only going to be one day. So 3 slow inhales, hold it at the top for 4, a count of 4, and exhale to the count of 4. If that's too much, just take deep, intentional breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Picture yourself as you exhale. Picture yourself whatever feels overwhelming, whatever is kind of that little chaotic thing that's got you distracted right now, as you exhale, imagine that like leaving your body. You're exhaling the overwhelm. You're exhaling the chaos. You are exhaling that distraction. Breathe in. When you breathe in, think of clarity. Breathe out the confusion and breathe in clarity, calmness, peace. Breathe out distraction, overwhelm, confusion. Stillness is your superpower when it comes to a reset. And I know you're like, Christy, you just told me to move my body and to shift my energy and la, 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 la. And now you're telling me stillness. These are all necessary. They all have their part. They all have their job in how it helps you to reset. So first we have to move our body. We have to shift our energy. It's like if you're a parent and you ever remember telling your kids, just get outside, get your butt outside. Or maybe, I know I was told this as a kid, get your butt outside and go play. Just go play. Go run around, go play. Because you're like stir crazy in the house and then you start climbing the walls and, all the things. And I remember a lot of times this would happen like, when you're home a lot, like over the summer. It's like, I remember my mom or my dad saying, out of the house, go play, go whatever. Obviously, I grew up in a different time where they were just like, entertain yourself, go. But I mean, I did that as a parent too. I mean, I remember telling my son, outside, run, walk, jump, climb that tree, jump on things, whatever. But you got to move the energy. So you have to move to shift your energy. Now, once your energy shifted, number 2 is we need to breathe intentionally. We need to clear our mind. So whether it's one of those breathing techniques that I have suggested in the past or that you could find on my YouTube channel, or if it's just, I just want to keep this simple. This is just like 3 inhales, 3 exhales. Picture yourself breathing in clarity, in calmness, and breathing out the confusion and breathing out the overwhelm. That right there is an automatic reset. So stillness is your superpower because it's in the stillness that we recognize that we can reset right now. That today I can reset. I can get back on track when something in my life has kind of thrown me off kilter. Stillness, breathing. Now, this can also, obviously I'm thinking of when I talk about stillness and breathing and really paying attention to the breath work. Breath work is it's just, I can't even, that's like a whole episode in itself. Breath work is so important for us to be our best selves. But if we could just master deep, intentional breathing, and it brings calm to the chaos in your world, right there, my friend, you are doing the things that you need to do to reset and to refocus. So don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. I was going to say that this makes me think of, meditation, quiet time, prayer time. But I'm trying to just, I'm not going like macro into this because I don't, a lot of times if I say, oh, okay, now you need to spend X amount of time, let's talk about meditation. And you're like, wait, I ain't got time for that. I can't even sit still. I don't want to meditate. So that's like a whole nother layer to it. And it kind of falls into this. But for today and for this this, what I call this 3-step reset, to move, to breathe, to refocus. Let's just break it down to breathing with intention. So try the 3 inhales. Pause when you inhale, and then as you exhale, and hold those thoughts, like I mentioned, breathing in calm, clarity, breathing out overwhelm and confusion and chaos. Like, get that mental picture. Be thinking those things as you're doing the breathing. It is going to clear your mind. All right, third thing on the 3-step recess. Third thing on the 3-step reset, and that is going to be refocus. And to refocus, that means take one bold action. That is the what to do. Okay, how do I refocus? You have to take one bold action. And again, I'm giving you this 3-step process to do in one day. Okay, this isn't like, oh, I'm going to tackle these over the week. No, we can reset today. And so number 3 is refocus, and that is take one bold action. So now that your energy's reset, you moved, and then you got your mind clear because you did some intentional breathing. I want you to choose one thing that moves you forward today. One thing that moves you forward today. It might be make the phone call. It might be send the email that you need to send. It might be finishing a task that you have been avoiding and putting off. Don't overthink this. Don't turn this into like, oh, I'm gonna, you spend 2 hours figuring out what is the one bold action. Most times it comes right to your brain when I say that. If I were going to take one bold action today, what would it be? Boom. It's in your brain. Now, you might be like, I don't know. Well, you've already shifted your energy. You've already cleared your mind. So now it's time to do step 3, and that's to take one bold action. So don't overthink this. Before the doubt creeps in, before the hesitation creeps in. So don't let a lot of time go by. That's why I want you to take action today. And I'm not asking you to reset. You don't have to do 10 things. You don't have to take bold action on 10 bold actions. You need to take one. So to reset, to get back on track when life throws you off, all you got to do is my 3-step reset. It is going to be to move, and then to breathe, and then to refocus. And in move, let me just go to back that up a little bit. Move is going to shift your energy. When you breathe, that is going to clear your mind. And when you refocus, you got to take the one bold action. Now that builds into what I'm going to talk about next week about the power of momentum. But these 3 things, my friend, you can do this in one day. One day to get back on track. In whatever that is, you feel like life's a little chaotic, I want to, move into this final few months of the year with calm, peace, clarity, intention. Man, I got to get back on track. I'm just kind of like meandering along. I'm just like shooting from the hip all the time. Like I've kind of lost track of my goals. I wrote them down earlier in the year, but I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention. Well, guess what? You can get back on track right now and today. And in my Reset to Rise series, start today with this 3-step reset. Again, I've made this really simple. I've really went and sat down and I went through all the things that I consider part of when you're going to reset and refocus. And I got it down to the bare bones. If I were going to give you 3 things that you must do to reset, this would be it. This would be it. So let's go, my friend. I'm excited for you. Let's get back on track. Let's reset and refocus. No matter the chaos, no matter the distraction, you can get back on track today. Today's your day. I'm excited for you. Go down in the show notes. There's going to be a resource that really is relevant to today's talk that you'll want to get your hands on. So go down there, find the link to click, and make that yours so you can dive a little bit deeper into this. All right, my friend, I will see you next week. It is time to reset to rise, and we're going to start by doing these 3 things in a day that you want to reset and get back on track. All right, I will see you here next week, same time, same place. Until then, have the best day. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the